Errol Spence solves the Southpaw Killer. How Errol Spence was able to create an advantage in the fight against Ugas, and how we were able to get to this position here where he's able to set up this excellent uppercut, the shot that I think is likely responsible for breaking Ugas' orbital bone. Now, the beginning of the fight was actually not super easy for either fighter. They were both having a difficult time, and we're going to kind of start in the fourth round with this sequence here to kind of demonstrate some of the problems and some of the mechanics and some of the things that were going well for Ugas and well for Spence, and then how he solved those problems after. Now, number one, as Errol Spence approaches the line here, he's going to be throwing this attack and going from the back foot to the front foot, and as he crosses the line, that makes it very easy for Ugas to see Spence's weight cross the line, okay? Now, from this position, he's able to throw a body shot here, and then he's going to throw this hook here, but I want you to pay attention to what side and what zone Errol Spence's head is in, okay? He's going to be on the left side of Ugas, which means Ugas is going to be throwing an attack with his right. So now when he brings his weight to the back foot, he's going to be releasing some of that control he had with his left arm, Errol Spence that is, and when Ugas feels the weight off of him, he's able to pull counter down here and catch Errol Spence as he kind of drives his weight toward the back foot off of that right hook that he threw, and then Ugas is able to catch him with this shot here. Now, notice how Ugas does not transfer his weight to the back foot, and he does not pull his left shoulder closer to the line to throw this shot. He doesn't really transfer his weight to the back foot. He also doesn't really transfer his weight to the back foot when he ducks here and makes his pull. The weight transition that he has for the punch and for that pull are also very similar, okay? Which is why Ugas doesn't actually throw very many hooks in this fight, is because the only weight transition he really does like that is for the pull counter. Again, we can see with the pull counter, he couldn't really throw a left hook to go with that move safely, right? We can see that his arm will be really extended. He doesn't really practice it, so he's not able to do that here. Now that plays a very, very, very important role in the fight as we move on, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, we're going to take a look at a couple of other ideas, all right? Now, when Errol Spence throws his left hand here and he transfers his weight to the front foot, he gets his head to the outside angle here, right? Heel, knee, head. Pretty decent alignment for Errol Spence. But this is the zone that Ugas likes to practice attacking, right? He's very used to people getting lead foot dominance, so it's easy for him to interact with Errol Spence when he gets his head there. As you can see, he gets controlled by the jab and then by the hook there. And then Errol Spence trying to throw that hook again and getting his weight to the back foot. Decent, right? We can see that there's kind of a heel, knee, head alignment, even though he's kind of standing straight up. Mechanically, it's decent, okay? But another problem that Errol Spence had in this fight is when he would come in with his jab, and Errol Spence is a decent boxer. He's decent getting on and off the line. We saw it in the Mikey Garcia fight. But when he leaves the line here, Ugas was actually pretty decent at following Errol Spence off the line with power shots. So, how does Errol Spence mitigate, number one, this disadvantage, okay, of leaving the line and having Ugas throw big, big, powerful punches at him as he goes on the line and then follows him with the pendulum step into a big body shot off the line? And how does he mitigate the disadvantage of moving into the front foot with this shot here, okay? Well, I'm going to tell you. Number one, he's going to try to stay close to Ugas, okay? He doesn't want to create space because he does not want Ugas jumping in with these big power shots, which were present a lot through the fight, okay? They were very, very, very prevalent. And we're going to take a look at some other opportunities here. Again, Spence coming in with the control here, Ugas slipping to the inside, taking lead foot dominance, and finding another body shot here. Again, something very difficult for Errol Spence or anybody to really deal with all the time. Now again, Errol Spence getting his weight to the front foot, transferring his weight to the back foot, and again attacking Ugas from the left side. Ugas being able to see it come, transferring his weight to the back foot, but again, we can see that there's no weight transition. He's just down, coming up with that kind of hook right there, and again, catching Errol Spence with that shot again. Okay, so where does Errol Spence start making his adjustments? Okay, well, number one, he's going to control the space here, and he's going to be trying to pendulum in on Ugas, or shoot these shots and control the space and push him off his line. And again, when he gets here, this is when Ugas is ready to attack him, when he gets to this zone where he has that lead foot dominance. So Errol Spence starts shifting on him to close that distance and the body up with Ugas and prevent him from being able to land those counters or get into position to set up other attacks against him. Now, as we move into, which clip is this? 6. All right, number 6. Round 5 looked very, very similar, okay? Coming forward, shooting the shot. Ugas not really able to set up the pull counter, not really able to get into position to defend himself. And Errol Spence coming forward and just trying to keep the pressure. Again, trying to keep himself close to Ugas and stop him from enacting those pull counters. Now, as we can see, he gets his head to the left side here, able to throw a body shot while Ugas is on the front foot. This is very important because now we see that Ugas has his right shoulder forward and he should be in a position to throw his left hand. But we've seen that he can't bring his weight from the front foot to the back foot effectively with the weight transition. He only ducks, which means that Errol Spence kind of finds himself kind of safe in this position against Ugas. Now he throws that shot, he crosses the line, gets that little bit of lead foot dominance, and immediately we can see that that Ugas is interacting with him, right? He got to a zone in which Ugas is comfortable, and now he's able to interact with him, and Ugas is, again, able to be dangerous and get control of Errol Spence. Now, again, Errol Spence getting to that position, and look at what happened when he made an attack when Ugas was on when he was moving to a zone that allowed Ugas to pull counter. Again, he slips to the front foot. When he brings his weight to the front foot, he shows Ugas that. Ugas is able to kind of pull counter and then come back with the body shot and another body shot. Again, showing that Errol Spence hasn't quite figured it out yet, all right? But he's going to real quick. Now, in the 6th round, this is the sequence at which Errol Spence got hurt, all right? He's going to be making a very similar attack while Ugas is kind of on the front foot, but he's going to be going from the back foot to the front foot and crossing Ugas' line. And now when he gets there, that gives him that position where he has lead foot dominance, and he kind of threw this punch overhand. Ugas is able to still drive some of his weight and drive his right shoulder closer to Errol Spence and counter him with this shot. That causes Errol Spence to slip to the front foot. And again, he finds that body shot right there. And Ugas does not have a pull counter for the body shot, so he just has to eat those again all night long. Now Errol Spence comes back with the double left hook, so he's throwing this left hook here. And again, he's making an attack while he's on the other side of Yordenis Ugas, and that allows him to feel that weight drop down with this poor position 2, this poor weight transition, and come right up with this kind of uppercut here, and kind of actually hurt Errol Spence. We're going to watch him in that kind of real time, and that's what actually drops Errol Spence's mouthpiece. Again, bringing his weight toward the back foot, boom, and coming straight down into that shot, but doing it in a position that allowed Ugas to use his pull counter, again, from the wrong side of the line, okay? Now, we're going to take a look at number 8. So what happens immediately after that? Well, Errol Spence knows that when he gets his head to that zone, he's going to get attacked when he gets to the front foot. He also knows when he comes from the front foot to the back foot, he's going to get attacked. Again, that's him trying to leave the line, and that's when Yordenis Ugas is most dangerous, right? We saw the longer range versions of Errol Spence following him back, or Ugas following him back with the body shots, and then we saw a short range version, right, with the headshot. So Errol Spence tries to control the space, and he doesn't want to be taking steps backward because he doesn't want Ugas to chase him, so he kind of bodies up with him and just brings his head, doesn't cross the line, doesn't do anything, and starts throwing the uppercuts without changing position, without changing angles, and just trying to throw that shot. Now look at how Ugas pulls back. Errol Spence winds up on the front foot, and he doesn't try to body up with him. He doesn't try to re-enter the line. He understands that that's the zone at which Yordenis Ugas can interact with him and attack him. And I think this is the point at which he makes that that transition in his style, that adjustment, okay, in the fight. And he begins to fight more on the back foot here. Now, real quick, Yordenis Ugas still dangerous if you fight him on the outside. Ugas penduluming on him with the jab, and again, on his back foot, following him back, catching him with that shot, catching him with that shot. Again, Yordenis Ugas very, very, very dangerous throughout the fight, in spite of the fact that he had been getting hurt and been getting beat up a little bit in some spots. But here again, Errol Spence coming forward and trying to keep his weight on that back foot here and find those uppercuts, find this shot here, again, without really trying to get his weight to the front of the line, okay, without trying to cross the line, trying to keep his head without getting that lead foot dominance, okay, putting it to the right side of Yordenis, or the left side of Yordenis Ugas' head, or on Errol Spence's right side, or from our point of view on Yordenis Ugas' right side. But trying to find ways to attack Ugas without putting his head in that zone and allowing Ugas to throw his pull counter. Now, he's going to throw this left hook here and see how he crosses weight and Ugas looks to attack him. Look at how Errol Spence, when he does that, he kind of makes an adjustment now and kind of crouches and pulls his weight all the way off the line, okay? Throws that shot, crouch, all right? Just if you guys are curious, I teach this drill. You throw a big right hand, and then you block, and you crouch to the back foot. I teach a heavy bag version, repetition over and over and over again if you're looking to learn how to bring your weight from one side with the punch and then finish with your defense, just like Errol Spence does here. Looks very silly on the heavy bag, I admit, but as you can see here, it's almost identical to what he's doing here. As well, real quick, to the shifting. If you guys want to learn how to do shifting like Errol Spence is doing here, coming forward off of his rear hand, he's going to shoot that shot and then shift with his rear leg forward. I teach you guys how to do that in a 1-minute drill video. Just type Dimitri Pirog on my channel, and you'll see I teach you guys how to do it in your shadow boxing. Right back to the heavy bag. It's brilliant, brilliant stuff. So that brings us all the way back to the end of the clip where Errol Spence knows that he doesn't want to be crossing the line. He doesn't want to give... he doesn't want to bring his weight to the front foot and then push Yordenis Ugas to the back foot and draw a pull counter. So he's going to use this jab here and interact with Ugas. And now Ugas, instead of pulling his weight to the back foot, he slips toward the front foot. And that allows Errol Spence to time and set up this excellent shot here. Again, Ugas was getting beat up and he didn't want to give any more space. And instead of pull countering, again, the jab and the lead hand from Errol Spence was able to kind of see, hey, what do you think about this? And Ugas not being ready to pull counter, not being in position, not looking to set it up, and Errol Spence kind of shoots that shot, kind of pendulums a little bit onto Ugas, and is able to time him with this uppercut and really start to separate himself once he started understanding that crossing the line was a little bit more dangerous for a lot of reasons, I want to say. Number one, the feinting and the probing, understanding how to get across the line. Errol Spence doesn't feint and probe all the time as effectively as you see here, right? As he's controlling the space with that lead hand, pushing Ugas to the front foot, again, which is a position that he does not know how to throw a hook out of, right? He does not have a good weight transition, so when he moves his weight to this front foot here, Errol Spence understands that for the most part, he's pretty safe to throw this punch, as long as he doesn't bring his head over to the other side, which is where Ugas is much more comfortable throwing his punches to. So, anyway, it was a decent performance from Spence. He made some good adjustments. But we saw multiple times in this fight places in which he was hurt on the outside, in which he was outboxed easily, and lots of holes to the body. Lots of opportunities to land body shots against Errol Spence coming in. In spite of the fact that people might think that this was such a huge and dominating performance, Spence showed a lot of weakness, a lot of holes. But he responded well to the counterpunching. He responded well to the challenge. He made a very good adjustment. And that adjustment was able to just take enough offense away from Ugas to kind of separate himself and land a few more punches per punch than Ugas was, okay? Again, Ugas had kind of limited offense, not really being able to fight from the front foot and move to the back foot. He didn't really have any front foot traps. He only had back foot traps. And we saw that his weight transition to the back foot was not very good, so he wasn't able to get a lot of weight. Now, Ugas is a front foot fighter who is getting pushed back. We saw that he's a front foot fighter. He doesn't have a back foot position. That's not the case for Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford fights southpaw. He fights orthodox. He has a front foot. He has a back foot. He can control the space with both hands. I think that this is going to be a mismatch. I think that Crawford is going to dominate Spence. And we're going to be watching a little bit of Crawford this week on Patreon if you guys want to check it out. It's $10 to sign up, $10 a month. We've already done a full fight film study of Ugas versus Spence on there if you want to catch the full fight film study. Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'm not sure if we're going to be doing any more videos on Ugas and Spence. I'm not sure. The inside fighting was kind of bland. I didn't even think it was that great. Spence, I guess, okay. Spence needs to learn to control the space. There was a couple of clips where he started to use the uppercut because he was coming up with the uppercut like this a lot in the fight. And then when he stopped using it for offense, he started using it to control the line and then come back with the right hook. I thought that was pretty good. He did have a little bit of a right hook in this fight, but overall, I think that Spence is in trouble. I think he's in trouble when it comes to Crawford. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys are fighters yourselves and you want to learn all the rules to do this stuff, you want to fight, and I want to say you want to fight and you want to know the rules about crossing the line better than Spence, better than Ugas, you want to learn how to get better weight transitions, better weight management, you want to know all the best drills to teach you how to get yourself into momentum and into pendulum and drive your weight into your opponents. Check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. It's brilliant. There's nothing like it.